Good evening, everyone. Hope we had a fantastic weekend. Second weekend of August, I must admit. I certainly did. Very busy with the family. And today I would like to talk about the review of a very scrappy, ugly, but 4-point win over Richmond yesterday at the MCG. In pretty good conditions. It was quite a sunny day at the G. Before I do that, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge my sponsor. You see on the top right corner of this video, Sai-Shri Foods, a very well-known Indian manufacturing firm in Melbourne and around Australia and globally, who produce wonderful, dough for Indian steamed pancakes and fried pancakes to make those, plus some yogurt and cold, salted and sweet beverages. So to know more about them, you can find them on Google or get in touch with them. They're based in Dandenong in Victoria, but they have branches all over. So please, if you're interested, have a look at them. And I really thank them for being a sponsor of my YouTube channel. The other thing I'd like to mention is Roki School of Excellence on the other corner of this YouTube channel. They are an academic tutoring school, and it was founded by my wife and I. The academic part, we tutor years 5 to 12 mathematics, group and individual. Okay. Plus, the music part is drumming, octopad, and South Indian classical drums. The octopad is an electronic percussion instrument that can produce a variety of sounds on a pad. Okay, so if you have a child or any friend or anybody for that matter who's interested, please kindly ask them to get in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to help with enrollments because enrollments are open throughout. Okay, so now onto the main discussion of this video. It was a scrappy win. Not the prettiest conditions, but I'll take the win. Got to take them and run. Okay? For our captain, it was a big day for him. 200th game, and Jack Higgins' 100th game. I'm very happy they got up for Jack still, even though it was in, scrappy circumstances. Because Steele, as I've been saying in my previous videos, has been a heart and soul of our club. He reminds me of the Nick Reaver, where he had to carry the shoulder of this club during different phases. As I said, when he came in 2017 from the GWS, St Kilda were a team pushing for finals. Then they went through a rebuild. Then they became a mid-tier team. Then they went back to finals. And now he's here helping and mentoring the youngsters. So really kudos to him. He's been a really a good leader. I know he's a very introverted person, but I just like the way he goes about football without worrying about the outside noise. And, he looks very invested. So I'm happy they got up for him, and very loyal and great bloke. So really kudos they got up for him. Now, the first quarter was a good start. We got out of the blocks, made Richmond panic, and it was more about how much for St Kilda. But you knew, after Tigers have been belted the last few weeks, they were going to, respond. They kicked the first goal in front of their home crowd at the G. Then they kicked the next few. St Kilda pushed back, and that goalless third quarter was a bit of a worry. I felt St Kilda did their very best to try and, defend the game rather than trying to break away. They always say third quarter is a premiership quarter. That partly determines which way the result goes. And St Kilda should have really broken the game open. The floodgates should have opened, but it didn't. They allowed Richmond. Look, credit to Richmond. They really turned up in that third quarter. They looked hungry. But what was St Kilda's excuse to defend the game? When the opposition team goes hungry, you need to be even more hungry than that if you want to win. Which they did in the end in St Kilda, but it was very ugly. Last quarter, again, a bit better, kicked a few goals, and we steadied the ship. One thing I've noticed that St Kilda allowed Richmond to do very easily. Richmond had numbers behind the ball a lot. St Kilda had chances to really have good number of entries into their forward line and thrash Richmond. But every time they kicked, Richmond's players bobbed up and marked those. The entry was absolutely shocking. Okay. Had a few players who missed some crucial goals. Mason Wood missed 2 goals. Very gettable for his, calibre. He, as a senior player, he should have nailed those 2 goals. Would have put St Kilda up by even more. And, entries into the forward line. Brad Hill kicks a few. Zach Jones kicks a few. Ends up getting marked by Richmond. And I'm just naming a few, but it was a collective habit across the team, if I'm being very transparent. Okay? We got to really work on that. Okay? It really showed that St Kilda's side was younger than Richmond yesterday. It really showed. But they held the game in their terms towards the end. Younger than Richmond, but when maturity mattered the most, that's when St Kilda were the better side in displaying it. Richmond had the chance to pinch it, but what Richmond did in getting numbers behind in the second and third quarter, St Kilda did that a bit better in the last quarter. You could see the desperation was there in the last quarter. Maybe that would have been avoided if St Kilda really broke away the game in the third quarter, taken their chances and kicked away a bit. But it's okay. I mean, if you don't do it in the third quarter, you're going to have to do it in the fourth quarter somehow. Because after the fourth quarter, there's no second chance. With the goal kickers, Higgins did what he did against his former side. Mason Wood could have added to that, but didn't. Cooper Sharman was pretty good, bobbed up, kicked a crucial goal in that last quarter. Max Hall hit the scoreboard with 1 goal, but was terrific with his usage of the ball. Hugo Garcia was good. Jack Sinclair's goal was terrific in that last quarter on the run, curled in beautifully. And Naz Wangadeen Malera, wow. I've got reminder of the off break when you bowl spin bowling in cricket. I thought that deserved to be a behind the way it was going, but you know, anything from Naz's boot is special. We know that, okay? So, you know, as much as it deserved to be a behind, I'm not surprised it sort of bounced the other way. So, that's Naz for you. Such a special player, and just looking forward to seeing what he can do for us moving forward, okay? I thought Filippo's return was pretty good, came back, but I'm not sure if half forward is his key, because he came to us as a half forward in 2023 with Owens and Kiminiti, but I just feel Filippo's so damaging when he plays more midfield. You put him in the midfield more often, he really helps with the entries into the 50. He's such a dangerous player when he's in the midfield. So, I wish he was in the midfield more often yesterday. He deserved it. I know Boxall was there, McRae still, but adding an extra dimension of Filippo type would have really helped. So, interesting call. Zach Jones half forward, Filippo in the half forward. Could have put him up a bit because Sinclair already had their forward line well equipped now with your Sharmans, Max Heath, Higgins, Caminiti, then you got Mason Wood who bobs up there. So that's that. Darcy Wilson did some pretty good things without impacting the scoreboard. Took the game on, really broke some tackles and went away. So you could see his stint in the VFL has really paid off. Liam Henry came on in the third quarter, did what he had to do. I know if he can have another full pre-season without any interrupted injuries, we know we'll get his 2024 form back, because last year till he was injured, he was so good for us, so damaging, very good runner, uses the ball well, he's not selfish, so that's that. So I thought some of their input was pretty good. If we can really fix our entries to the 50s, we are a team who are capable of thrashing. We really are. Just go back to the Fremantle game in round 8. We are very capable of thrashing. Our entries need to tidy up. We've got to attack a little bit more. Don't defend the game. I just still ask myself, what gave us right to defend the game yesterday? You know, what gave us right to defend the game yesterday in the third quarter when Richmond were coming? We had the younger team, but it was a good challenge for us. We got to take it as a challenge. I know Ross always says we're a younger team than most, but it's a great challenge. And to be honest, the boys, many of them who are playing their first year, I thought I did pretty well. You know? Ross, one thing, he won't allow blowouts very often, I can tell you that. There's going to be those losses, but they're going to be competitive losses. And look, people think, oh, it's only Melbourne, North Melbourne, Richmond. Remember one thing, North Melbourne are a few years into their rebuild. So they can be pretty tricky on their day. Let's not take them lightly. You saw how they beat Carlton, and nobody gave them a chance. Richmond, they've done some pretty amazing things in their first year of rebuild. They beat teams that nobody gave them a chance. In fact, Richmond were only tipped to win a game or 2. They've already won 5. So they can be pretty tricky. And once you play it into their hands, they'll break open. But the boys knew that, and they kept them at arm's length in the last quarter by taking possession of the game. So, you know, I like the wins that are coming, be it ugly or convincing. We need these wins. Winning formula, as I've been saying. It's not about draft picks always. We've drafted pretty well. It's about now going into some trades and, you know, big names and bolster this rebuild even quicker. Okay, make the team even stronger. Make it even quicker. You just take Hawthorn. Look at Hawthorn's model. They were tipped to be bottom 4 for some time, and Sam Mitchell and staff had other ideas to bolster that quickly. They went and got Josh Battle and Tom Barras to try and, you know, expedite things. So you got to have a winning formula. I'm not saying you have to win every game, but you need to be competitive. Give the vision. Sell the vision to the crowd that we are very competitive. Okay? So I'll leave it there. My next video will be a preview this week against the Essendon game. I know that's another away game for St Kilda at Marvel. It's an Essendon home game, so I'll get my preview for that. And meanwhile, if there's any other content to talk about in the meantime, I'll definitely be sure to do a video on that and upload it and keep you guys posted. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Sometimes you got to win these ugly, but it's all at the end of the day. 4 points is 4 points. Take it and run. Okay. Sometimes every manner we take 4 points is not ideal, but 4 points it doesn't scrap that. Got to take them and run. Okay. And good teams find a way. Good teams find a way to do it. Okay. You know, people say, oh, it's only St Kilda Richmond, but look, if you were that good enough to win it yesterday, you'll win it, and St Kilda didn't. Okay. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in my next video later this week. Bye bye.